talk 2 minutes, then you start.
Exactly. Michael Paul. It occurs to me it's just a scant few months shy of 30 years since I've been here, or at any personal funeral for that matter. A few things strike me about this moment. First, it's the contrast. Yesterday versus today. Here we have a brother who was scholastic and academic and brilliant, struck down at a terribly young age. At the very start of what was sure to be an amazing life, so many were denied his acquaintance, the lives he was sure to impact, and how fortunate I am to have been among those precious few who had the privilege to know him. And here we have a father and a husband, confidant and helper, laid to rest after a wonderfully long, productive life that benefited most everyone that crossed his path. One is a bucket list that's completely unfulfilled, and the other is a bucket list that's been completely crossed off and crossed off and crossed off. The contrast here before us reminds me of other contrasts I've witnessed. One is a scene I saw in New Zealand of a long mountain valley floor in early summertime. It was carpeted in blooming lupins of every single color, but there were glaciers with snow-covered mountains in the background. And there was a contrast of favelas, which are the slums backing right up to millionaire neighborhoods in Rio de Janeiro, and another of an amazingly intricate coral reef, big as a house, but with barracudas and lemon sharks just gliding by. And the ubiquitous images we've all seen of a great or grandparent holding a newborn infant. The yin and the yang, the contrasts and the space between the spokes in the wheel that make the wheel, and the silence between the notes that make the song. And second is the eternal mystery, that the never-ending tune in tomorrow. What's going to happen next? That life truly is above and beyond any religious or ideological beliefs. Many may hold a mystery. Above all else, life's mystery is what keeps so many of us tuning in again and again to see how it all plays out. I'm reminded that this is the never-ending sense of what comes next that makes our lives intriguing enough to keep many of us around, yet simultaneously bordering on the unbearable. As my mom has taken to saying a lot lately, it'll all work out in the end, and if it hasn't worked out, it's because it isn't the end yet. And finally, I'm reminded, even at moments like this, of how overwhelmingly fortunate I've been that this is such an unfamiliar scene, something I've such little experience with, while so many of my friends and acquaintances seem vexed by constant attendance at funerals and sickbeds and shelters. Dad, I still go to call you, ask you about a car, or get advice about dealing with someone or something. I've seen so many people miss your presence, sometimes subtly, and sometimes openly weeping and mourning. Your advice and your comfort, your outreach and fellowship. It is truly surreal to still hear your voice. So many people have your phone messages saved forever. The world's a darker place now, but I know your new home group is thriving, and you're sitting at the table, your right leg's crossed over your left, and your arms are reached out over the backs of each chair next to you, especially if there's somebody in that chair. It was your subtle way of comforting a newcomer. I'm amazed at the subtle ways I still see you. Debbie sees you. All those whose lives you touch still see flashes of you, keeping us on our path, and thankful to reach out a hand, to go for another motorcycle ride, or to just laugh. And besides, I'm still finding dimes everywhere. You lived and you changed countless lives, and you live on in the hearts you share and the lives that were forever changed. Keep up the good work, and I look forward to sharing a cup of coffee with you at the new home group. Thanks.
Very nice.